Luke is a 32-year-old youth worker, counsellor and trainer, and thankful person. Who was Luke? Luke was an angry young man who used his size and stature to intimidate and get things the way he wanted. So I used to use violence as a way to communicate to my mother and my sisters by being aggressive, both verbally and physically with them, and I had the stature and size, being 6'3", to command that sort of intimidation tactic. So I effectively had a man's body, but a boy's brain. I just thought that that was the norm because I didn't have someone to role model and show me that behaviour is not acceptable. I would say they were scared of me for sure, to the point where my mother asked me to leave home because of my behaviour and my actions. When my mother asked me to leave home, she presented to me as a choice, and the choice was, you can either leave with the youth workers that are going to turn up, or you can leave with the police that I'll call. I chose the youth workers. I ended up in a youth accommodation refuge, and I spent a period of time there. Luke in that refuge was a scared young boy because I got a harsh reality on what the world was like and how good I have it at home with my mum at that time. I just needed to be shown that I needed to pull my head in. There was nights in the refuge where I cried because it was just shit. Yep, that's the story. That's where the story was, and that's when I was in the refuge when my mum introduced Menslink to me in regards to if I would like to return home, I had to partake in the Menslink mentoring program. It sort of sounded a bit arty-farty to me, and I wasn't really interested in it because I just wanted to go home, and it didn't really help me that my first mentor match didn't successfully happen. It broke down because I sabotaged it, and then Mum presented me with the option again. I needed to get matched, and I was successfully matched on the second time. Angry young Luke met old Neil. So I met Neil in the second mentor intake in 2002, 2003. Neil was this small, happy-go-lucky kind of guy, and I just was like, I'm gonna eat you up and spit you out. And boy, was I wrong. And Neil worked with me and supported me through several key moments in my life. So that was the first time that someone had taken time out of their life to actually give a shit about me, and that, I guess, person-to-person connection created the foundation of us successfully doing 2 years in the mentoring program together. In my lifetime, my dad's only rang me twice for my birthday. Once was last year for my 31st birthday, but yet Neil rings me every year without question on my birthday to just check in and see how I'm going, and that's approaching 18 years. So the lesson I've taken through life, and that was given to me on a birthday from Neil. He gave me a book, and I've kept it to that day, and I read that book, and it's about taking control of your emotions, and that is an ongoing lesson that I guess practice to this day. I was just one of the ongoing tornadoes that my mum was managing at that point, and that's where Menslink came in. They managed the tornado. My relationship with my mum and my sisters now is amazing. Like, I speak to my mum almost every day on the phone. She has been a cornerstone in my life. Okay. So I got tattoos as a way to rebel against my mum. I got a maple tree because that's some of my life. It's slow growing and it needs upkeep and maintenance to become beautiful. The tattoos on my feet, I have a light bulb which reads, "Even in darkness there can be light." I have my sister's initials and my initials. And then I have a tiger's face which represents my mother, because wherever I go in life, I know that my sisters and my mum are walking with me in the decisions I'm making. I'm volunteering with Menslink because I want to almost pay it back, pay it forward, in the sense of they invested time in me when I was younger, and I see it as this is my returning to them and returning the investment in me via volunteering. I want people to care about young guys in places like Menslink, because young men are often forgotten, and you can connect and help them so they're not forgotten.